Oh my goodness. Welcome to Late Friday Night Vibes with yours truly. What a great night. It's Friday. Hey, for some of us it's payday. Hey, hallelujah. We need that payday in our lives. Hey, I'm glad you're doing great, Eagles. Listen, what in the entire mess is rocking? Huh? Yes, of course. Yes, of course. It is like 12 o'clock midnight here. I'm feeling amazing. Amazing. And let's not forget our sponsors. Hey, Forever Luzon. Let's not forget our lovely sponsors. We have our Stella Rosa and our old wine from the old vine, okay? Yeah, so we're doing great. And happy Thanksgiving, happy day after Thanksgiving. There's 2 days out of the year that I do not like to work. And that is the day after Thanksgiving and absolutely not on the day after Christmas. You know, I have that blessing now that I don't have to, but I remember back in those days, when I was a barista, struggling, like seriously struggling to make all of my ends even connect. Okay? They were definitely not all meeting. But even in the smallest connection, I was struggling. And so I don't, remember until like I'm having this kind of conversations, like how much of a struggle that used to be. I didn't have the luxury of not having to work the day after Thanksgiving, the day after Christmas. I remember one year having to miss my brother's high school graduation because I had to work, and that was one of the nights that something like snapped or shifted in me, and I was like, because family is everything to me. Like family is my lifeline, like not even kidding. And anyway, that was one of the days that I was like, I'm doing things different. I'm taking a new path. I'm getting up out of here. I want to be able to control my life a little bit more to where I'm not faced with the choice of either having to go to my brother's graduation or basically get fired. It's 2 a.m. here in Chicago. Awesome. Oh my gosh. I didn't even realize you were in Chicago. It's 3 a.m. here. So you were 3 hours difference. I thought for sure Chicago was 3 hours difference from California, but it's only 2 hours? Okay. Eagle soaring high. I didn't know you were in my hometown. Oh my God, I miss Chicago so much. I miss the snow, the Dan Ryan Expressway, and State Street at Christmas time. Oh my gosh. Look at the nostalgia. That is great. You are from Chicago? Okay, so we have 2 from Chicago. That is crazy. All these time zones in Florida. Okay, so that's why it's definitely 3 hours difference in Florida. Because that is literally all the way on the East Coast. Is this East or is this East? I don't know. But yeah, oh my God. So I'm in Southern California. So here it's exactly 12:03. And I'm feeling free. So what's been going on? Has anyone like been taking, a break from YouTube? Eagle soaring high yet? Gone since 2012 and I miss it so much. Like in Chicago, I imagine it's, snowing probably. I don't know. Is it? Let me see. What's the weather like in Chicago? I imagine it's probably snowing and like so cold. Right? Oh my God. Do you know if I were to try to take a flight? It's 30 degrees. Woo. Ooh. If I were to try to take a flight to Chicago, I wouldn't have anything to wear. Because in California, like, look, I'm just going to keep it real. We've been wearing flip-flops around Thanksgiving and Christmas. Okay, so sometimes we don't require boots, and you know what I mean? Honestly, in California, it's like the weather, it's cold, but it's not 30 degrees. Ooh. I don't know if I could take it. 30 degrees? That seems crazy to me. But yeah, happy day after Thanksgiving, everybody. I really just wanted to come live and say hi to everybody and just, see what's going on. I said around 2 because, my sponsors are back. They are back and they say, thank you for being here. Please hit the like button and let's get into this little freaky story that I came across. Let me see. I literally have so many things that I need to order, and I need to make a list of everything that I need to order on 12 a.m. Sunday night. Yes, starting with the my facial cleanser. I use a product called Beauty Counter. It's called Counter Control. And I love it. I also need to get more. Why am I doing that now? Because I'll forget. Foundation and concealer. I use Estee Lauder. My damn internet. Not snowing yet. Okay. But definitely freaking cold. My mom is not watching. My mom is not watching. Truth be told, my mom and we're so close. I mean, at this point, there is probably nothing I could ever do that would like surprise her or shock her. Like, it's fucking crazy, dude. Why? I bet there's nothing that I could do at this point that would shock my mom to the point where she would disown me. My mom knows everything about me. And wow, okay, let me not say everything. Not everything. Okay, I get what you're saying, Saki. Yeah, some things mamas don't need to know. And those things would not be on YouTube. Trust me. Trust me. Does anyone want to come up and share a freaky story? Hey, Christine. Thank you so much. I use Beauty Counter, and I love it. I love it, love it, love it. I only use the cleanser though. Um, it's called Counter Control. It is for all skin types. Hey, Mimi Twin. I'm on. I'm so damn goofy. How you doing? Yes, I would recommend Beauty Counter. They are amazing. And my cosmetics, I use Estee Lauder for my foundation and concealer. And then I use this, I think it's like a setting powder. My sister recommended it to me. She's a professional beauty artist, and she recommended it to me. It's the Patrick Star, just like the loose powder. I use it to kind of keep from shining, and I forgot to like unshine tonight, but it's fine. So yeah. Does anyone want to come up? Look, please, please, we have time tonight. I am dedicating an hour. And so I'm going to drop this link. We have time for stories. I want to read this crazy story that I just came across. And then I will tell one of my 90-day fiance stories. Uh-huh. Yes. Woo! Talk about some freaky, crazy stuff. Is everyone doing good? Does everyone like have a beverage? Something to maybe snack on? Cords to the devices? Is everyone like good to go? You don't even look like you're wearing makeup. It looks so natural. Oh my God. Well, thank you. Yeah, I wear tons of makeup. Trust me. I just have a beauty blender and it blends so well. And I do like literally the same makeup every day. It doesn't change. It's like literally the same. I may wear under eyeliner, I may not. But yeah. Hey, brown skin lady. How you doing? Yes. Okay. I feel so like, you know what I mean? Like the more of my people that I see, I feel so much more at home almost. I feel more like, like it's go time again. Chips and warm tea. Ooh. That sounds really good. What kind of chips? Like tortilla chips, veggie chips, Doritos. I just made my niece some really good mint tea for her tummy so that hopefully it starts feeling better. Ooh, child. She woke up last night in the middle of the night with the tummy ache. And do you know, like, I don't have any children. I'm not a mom yet. But somehow I was still asleep and still able to help her meet her needs. I don't know how in the heck. Because normally I would guarantee not wake up. But especially after that like 6 o'clock hour when it's just like my nap time is in there. Like right when the sun starts coming out, it's like right when I love to fall like asleep. That's when I can really fall and sink into a deep sleep. Yes. So anyway, let me see if I can share my screen And please, Ruffle Flamin' Hot. Oh, I haven't had Ruffle Flamin' Hot. Oh, okay. Wow. Okay. That sounds really good. Let me see. Let me share here. If my internet starts acting crazy, please forgive. Who knows what it's going to do at this point. I'm going to share this article. I'm so glad you all are here. Like, truly. How do I get rid of this thing? Let's check out what some idiot decided to do, okay? Let's check out what some idiot decided to do. This story, it's not really funny, honestly, but at the end of the day, thank God nobody got hurt. You know, Miss D said, Saki speaks, the GOAT. Yes, indeed. Thank you. Please hit the like button, leave a comment, subscribe to Andre Nelson, my channel, if you haven't, and on your social media, hit the notification so you'll be on. And thank you for watching. That goes for you in the chat and you all who will catch the replay. So this man held Little Caesars employees at gunpoint with an AK-47 after he was told that his mofo pizza wasn't ready. What the heck? This happened 3 days ago. This man held a Little Caesars employee at gunpoint with an AK-47 after he was told his pizza wasn't ready. A man in Tennessee lost his ever-loving mind over some Little Caesars pizza. As reported by the NYDN, Charles Doughty, age 63, walked into the fast food restaurant in Knoxville and asked for a hot and ready pizza. Employees told him it would take 10 minutes, but he wasn't feeling that. Doughty asked for breadsticks as compensation for the wait, but was denied. Now, they could have gave him some breadsticks, okay? But here we go. Doughty left, but returned with an AK-47. He held employees and customers at gunpoint and demanded a pizza. A woman in the store reportedly had a pepperoni pizza and gave it to the angry man, Doughty, 63, and left before authorities arrived. Thankfully, no one was injured. He was charged with 4 counts of aggravated assault. Okay. And this dude lost his ever-loving mind. Hey, Jack. Now, here's the thing. It was Little Caesars pizza. What is so special about Little Caesars pizza? That you're going to take. Here we go. Let's see if it plays. Go ahead and take another sip of your tea or your adult beverage as this video loads.
A Tennessee man could spend decades in prison after his behavior in a pizza shop.
This is insane.
Can you put a 5 in the chat if you can hear the audio? Can you put a, let me see, is it on mute? Can you put a 5 in the chat if you can hear the audio that was playing? Oh, there's an echo. Oh, okay.
Police say that Charles Gotti threatened Little Caesars employees with an AK-47. That's because they told him it would be 10 minutes before his pepperoni pizza was ready. At one point, he even stopped an employee from leaving the business. Here's how they describe what happened.
He points the gun up, points it at me. Where's my pizza? I want my pizza now. Fear and just like disbelief that this is happening right now.
Oh my gosh. The customer waiting in line even tried to give him their order so he would leave. Thank goodness nobody was hurt. He's been charged with
I'm writing down that I need to order a longer Ethernet cord. But how crazy is this individual? Over a Little Caesars pizza? Now, this is the thing I want to ask. He's 63, Saki. He's a 63-year-old man. This is what I want to ask for the sake of discussing a different perspective on this. Okay, so let's take into some facts. Excuse me. Oh, the car mount. The car mount. Yes, the car mount. I'm ordering that on Cyber Monday. I wrote it down. The car mount. The car mount. Let's ask ourselves this for sake of just an argument, okay? It's November 24th that this senior citizen, this elderly male, he's 63. He goes, okay, it's 3 days before Thanksgiving, right? No, 1 day before Thanksgiving, okay? Let's take into mind sometimes Thanksgiving is very hard for people. Sometimes the holidays in general are very hard for people. Let's just think about that for one moment. Let's think about seasonal affective disorder, which is basically because of the time change and maybe the underlying psychological illness a person may have, and you combine that with the fact that it's darker for longer hours of the day, which is less sunlight, which affects mood. And let's not get into clinical things. Like I'm not gonna look at my DSM-5 for this. I'm just saying we're taking into different accounts. Holidays are very hard for some individuals. Okay, seasonal affective disorder. A man was obviously hangry, right? What in his right mind set him off like this? Do you think it had anything to do with more than just the fact? And Jack kind of hinted at something. You know, do you think it had something to more to do with? Do you had it? Wait, huh? Do you think it has something more to do with just his pizza not being ready on time? Do you think it might have been an issue of maybe substance abuse? Do you think it's had anything to do with the holidays? The fact that sometimes the holidays are really hard for people. What do you guys think happened wrong here? Like, honestly, let me see if I can go back and read if there's any more details of that particular story. Remember, this man is white. These are the facts of the story. He's white, male. I don't want to say blue or green eyes. The age is 63. He takes himself to a Little Caesar's Pizza. I mean, I remember when Little Caesar's Pizza slapped, okay? Because remember when it was like $5 for a whole pizza? Do you know when I was doing my after school program? That was like every Friday. That was our joint, okay? That $5 holla, that Little Caesar's Pizza. Okay, so let's take into account, and I'm just talking out loud, basically. He goes to Little Caesar's. He's 63, elderly, older, white male, blue eyes. I don't know how tall he is. He goes into Little Caesar's. He tries to order pizza, okay? The pizza is only a 10-minute wait. He gets a little bit testy at that point. I don't know if he demanded free breadsticks or if he was like just asking that he be compensated free breadsticks for his inconvenience. But he was denied his free breadsticks. So this is these are just all facts of this story, allegedly. So he was denied his free breadsticks. Let me see what you all are saying. He leaves the store. He returns sometime later. The time is not specified. With his AK-47. Is that a military weapon? An AK-47. We don't know if it had the license to conceal and carry or carry or whatever that's called. But is an AK-47 a military grade weapon? That's what I want to know as well. So we're taking in all these things about this person. Miss D, what's up, says Jack. He best not come to Canada. We get all 4 seasons. You know, substance abuse, probably alcohol. Yeah, and you know, a short temper, maybe a short fuse. I don't know what the exact, you know, anatomy of the brain, you know, has kind of maybe malfunctioned in this heat of the moment. Hot and almost ready. I know, hot and almost ready. Right. It should have been ready. Okay. Little Caesars has that promise that you come in, you order pizza, and you get it hot and ready. Unfortunately, on this day, this gentleman's pizza was neither hot nor ready, but only 10 minutes. And it's not funny, right? Because let's look at it on the other side too. The employees of that restaurant were terrified, I assume, you know, probably traumatized to a certain extent over that happening. You know, which is really sad and, you know, not fair. But it's like, well, dang. Do we have to start putting bulletproof plexi, you know, in restaurants? Because this is crazy. This is really crazy. Andrea, no ma'am. I can't do that like you do, Saki. No ma'am. We're not calling a 63-year-old, and we're not making excuses for a clear man with a K running up the pizza joint with a weapon because he had been melanated. Oh, yeah. Because had he been melanated, different outcome, period. Right. Let me look at his charges again. Because that, I think, is a worthy discussion for the comparison's sake. Had he been his melanated counterpart. Very good point. Age 63. How come it's not exiting full screen for me? Hello. I need to hit escape. Yeah, that's a very good point. No military background. I don't know if he's had any military background. That's a good question. As, you know, another factor considered. Another factor to consider. Sorry, the wine. Military background, perhaps. Okay, so AK-47. I don't know what that kind of gun looks like, but I could Google it. Okay, so he was charged with 4 counts of aggravated assault. Now, if any of you have any kind of military or military law enforcement background, can you explain what these kind of charges might, what these kind of this kind of criminal activity might be charged, depending on like what state you're in, or just typically speaking? And let's do a poll really quick. Let's see what you will think, or what you all in the chat would say if this was a Black man. What do you think he would have been charged with? Something maybe like attempted. Okay, I don't want to put in any ideas. I'm gonna say what I think after I read everyone else's. Okay, so let's do a little copy shindig that I copied from another YouTuber to do a poll. Let's see what you think he would have been charged with if he was Black. Brown skin lady. Yes, he's still probably mad that Trump lost. Okay. Yes. I would say if he was Black, he'd probably be charged with like attempted manslaughter. Probably attempted robbery. Or something, you know what I mean? I don't know. And I know they have to take into account the people that he threatened, the number of restaurant workers that were in there. It's highly destructive on impact. Hold on, let me hold my head up. Sad about Trump. Probably sad about Trump. Saki speaks. Brown skin lady is giving you like yes, 100%. Miss D says, right at Saki, full story, please. Right. Hey, everyone. Hey, Lucretia. How you doing? McClurg is saying Saki speaks exactly right. Brown skin saying, hey, Lucretia. Let's see. Yes, Queen. Oh my God. 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. So dang, what time is it where you're at? It must be almost 7. Yes. I don't know how you do it with them 12-hour shifts. This sounds like the kind of weapon Rittenhouse had. Right. Didn't Rittenhouse have I don't remember what it was, but I know it was a military grade weapon, right? Had no business. Had no damn business. But we're going Yeah, attempted murder. I would say attempted manslaughter or attempted murder. Yep. Disturbing the peace. Yep, it was that brown skin lady. An AK-47 is designed to do maximum damage for war. Is never meant for personal use originally. So why is this gun why is this gun in his possession? One thing brown skin lady is so wise. She's so wise, so intelligent. Like one thing that she said, I think it was either today or yesterday, we were talking about Rittenhouse and we were talking about the NRA. The National Rifle Association. And one statement that she made that I just like really made things click for me regarding Rittenhouse and how he got off with no accountability for any of his malfeasance is that the NRA more than likely was supporting him in that damn white privilege. No offense to anyone who is white. So Evan says disturbing the peace. It was emotional distress, domestic terrorism. It's 3:33 where I am. Okay, so you're gonna get off in a few hours, Lucretia. Oh, my prayers to you. You'll be getting off probably when I'll be falling asleep. Hey Christine. It outlived. They okay. The AK-47, the NRA. Yeah, so I just think that this was very kind of interesting. This man obviously has greater issues than what can be seen on the surface, right? Let's just at least acknowledge that, right? To be sold open market. You talking about the AK? Yeah. So, but yeah, I really appreciate you all, participating in this discussion. I think that my sleep patterns are all, I know, me too, Lucretia, me too. I'm talking to my therapist about really developing some really helpful and beneficial nighttime routines, including going to bed before 2 a.m. That's where we started out because I've typically been going to bed at like 4 a.m. and then expecting to be productive and, have a normal life. And it's just not really realistic. So I'm working on getting to bed by 2 a.m. right now and eventually, hopefully, to get to bed by like 11:30. I heard or read one time that when you go to sleep when you're asleep between 10 p.m. and 1 a.m., those are the times that your body is really most effective with regenerating, like your systems, your organs, your skin, your brain, your hormones, and all of that. That's when you're asleep during those hours, I've heard that that's when your body's healing and regeneration and rejuvenation actually takes place. And so imagine that I've been missing out on all of that good sleep between the hours of 10 p.m. and 1 a.m. Those are the hours that I'm like up, probably more active, probably writing, reading, and doing that kind of stuff. But yeah. Okay. Before I get into this next story, let's see what you guys are saying. Saki says, Christina Estrada, indeed, the problem is that they're not held accountable for horrible things that they do. They have the complexion for the protection. And that just speaks to mess in this country. Yeah, I would have to agree with you, Saki. White privilege are completely treated precisely with law enforcement and courts. Even when white on white crime, the victims usually lose. Yeah, like white privilege is really a thing. And as we had a guest on this show, okay, so 9 inches for your little booty. We don't need that kind of engagement. So the other night I had a young lady who came on the panel, Houston bred, and she started, just briefly discussing the I guess the effects and the truth that the idea of intersectionality, or the idea of the things that we identify with, how they intersect in our lives, inform who we are, help form our opinions, and help inform the way that we operate and move. And so one example is, I know, right? Shout out to all of our moms. Right? When we start talking about things that really matter, we start getting these kind of spammers. And look, shout out to all of us. We all blocked. We all blocked him. Yeah, we don't need that kind of engagement here. So as I was saying, this young lady, Houston Bird, brought up this very fascinating idea that was first really discussed by someone named Kimberly Crenshaw. And I think this was in 1991. And she was more concerned about how the intersectionality of Black women truly, and this is not a secret, you can look up Kimberly Crenshaw. She's a dynamic individual. Many publishings. I mean, she's dynamic. And so talking about intersectionality, okay, so we think about things that we identify with, like our race, which is, like my niece says, that's debatable. But our ethnicity, our income level, our family, our educational background, our educational systems, the institutionalization of our, like in America, our educational systems. And you even think for Black men, the school to prison pipeline. You think of the, racism, all the kind of stuff that really exists. So when discussing intersectionality, we consider all of those things and how all of those ideologies about ourselves intersect. And then there's a step further, that at the core of it, it's how it's affected in this system that we live in that, puts us in the powerless category, in the oppressed category. And did I say powerless? So we're looking at power, privilege, oppression. Okay. And even still, even in our own intersectionalities, it's good to think about, okay, we don't typically see ourselves as Black and privileged. Typically, we see, I don't like saying clear people, but we see white individuals more than not, right? Benefit from the white privilege. It's not a secret. It's something that really, truly does exist. And so when we're looking at how our systems kind of connect and make up who we are and make up the ideals that we stand in, we have to consider even on what level we, even as Black people and Black women, have privilege over other cultures and societies. So it's a very, very, very interesting and unique, I dare I say, like, theoretical perspective, that it's really good when we're trying to increase and enhance our self-awareness to really think about it kind of in that way. But yeah, always, thank you so much. Shout out to you all. HB is really good. I watch her lives in the mornings. Oh my gosh, Jack. I mean, the kinds of discussions that she has, this young lady is really, 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 really on the cusp of many, many, many extraordinary things. And you can hear it in the way that she speaks and in her knowledge. And oh my gosh, I mean, she's very dynamic. Very, very interesting. So she was on my panel the other night for the first time. I had no idea that she was even a subscriber, and so it just makes me so thankful, all the more that I can have these kind of talks because people like her are in my subscribership. So thank you, all of you. Christine says that McClurg, you're right. A lot of white people don't realize or they don't want to. Did I skip over McClurg? Let me not do that. Did I read this, McClurg? White privilege are completely treated precisely with the law enforcement and courts. Even when white on white crime, yeah, the victim usually leaves. Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah, so I would encourage you all to check out Houston Bread. Her channel, she always has a morning show. And let me see if I can pull it up and put it in here. Because I know she shouted me out too. My internet. So yeah. Thank you. Does Houston Bread go to Ms. T Velocity? Maybe. Hey, BJ Des, how are you? I hope you're doing good. Hey, Boo. Brown Skin Lady saying to you, BJ Des. Welcome, so. Welcome, so. I am always open to talk about white privilege anytime and I'm never insulted. It's important to talk about for all people, as Christine said is correct. I agree, McClurg. I agree. And it's not to shame white people either for their experiences with white privilege. or our Black experiences having to observe white privilege and be like, huh? 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 Like, are you for real? You know, all the damn time. So don't stalk Andrea in the blump, blump, blump. Drop down for the clouds or climb out of the bushes. Oh, look, I need to read it from right here. Don't stalk Andrea in the bushes and trees. Drop down from the clouds, climb out, and like the video. Every thumbs up supports Andrea Nelson's channel. Yes, honestly, every thumbs up matters. So thank you. That sounded like a political statement. Every thumbs up matters. Honesty is the only way to heal. I agree, McClure. And I appreciate your input and your insight into these kinds of discussions. Because let's not forget the original story that we were discussing. If this individual who was hot and bothered over not getting his, what is it, $6.99 Little Caesars pizza with, you know, right now, I want it now, like Charlie and the Chocolate Factory's Violet, I want it now, you know, because he didn't get it in his I want it now. He thought it necessary, or who knows what he thought, honestly. I don't know what he was thinking. But he ended up taking his AK-47 into the Little Caesars Pizza and holding it to the employee's head. They were held at gunpoint. He's 63, white male, blue-green eyes. Remember, he requested breadsticks to compensate for his wait time. They denied his breadsticks. So he left, went and grabbed his gun, came back, and held him at gunpoint over a pizza. What's wrong with some people? What's wrong with some people? What's wrong with some people? So yeah. And we were saying he was basically charged with 4 counts of aggravated assault. The question was, if he was Black, if he was the melanated counterpart, 63, Black, brown eyes, went and had an AK-47, what do you think his arrest charges would have been? I'm just curious because, you know, I don't know the details of like the law. Okay. And so this is in the state of Tennessee. So maybe I can try to see. No problem, brown skin lady. Take your time. I just read Jack's comment and I realized I was on mute. You're damn right it's too late to delete it, okay? But you're all good with me, Jack. You're all good with me. So let me look up in the state of Tennessee, any Black man arrested for aggravated assault and what he did. Or what should I look up to compare this? TNN. I believe if he was Black, he would have been killed or put away for murder or attempted murder. This white man will walk away with charges dropped in the end. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, attempted murder is what I was thinking. I think he would have been charged Most definitely with armed robbery and attempted murder, which is like a 50-year to life sentence, right? Depending. So I don't know. It's just kind of hard to tell because the weapon wasn't discharged. But still, I mean, based on the history, based on this country, it's just not really out of the scope to think that he would have been charged on much worse charges. No problem, Lucretia. No problem. Yeah, so no problem, Lucretia. I know you're working and don't even worry about it. I appreciate everybody for being here, honestly. Thank you for hitting the like button. And yeah, have a great night, Lucretia. Okay, so I'm gonna kind of shift gears. Oh, it just got crazy where you are. Okay. The white manager would have been given bond and probably would not spend more than time to book him. Yeah, systematic racism is embedded in our country. I don't know what the answer is. I know, Christine. I know. Hey, my small space. Child, we are talking about something heavy. But yeah, I just wanted to bring that story and just have us think about some of these questions. Because sometimes it's just good to kind of bounce some things off of one another and kind of gauge in some real talk. Because especially within this past 2 weeks, we've had some really, really serious cases. One with the Rittenhouse, and then, of course, the guilty verdict for Ahmaud Arbery. And so, which is great. Oops. Oh, really, my small space? Okay. I know you have a lot to say. So let me ask you this, my small space. If a 63-year-old, I don't know, you're going to have to go back and watch the replay because I don't know if I should give it. I don't know how quick I can give another recap because this wine is kind of kicking in. But basically, this white man who was 63 decided he didn't want to wait 10 minutes for his Little Caesars pizza to be ready. So he asked for free breadsticks. He was denied free breadsticks. And they told him he would have to just wait 10 minutes for his pizza to be ready. And mind you, this is like a pizza that's like less than $10. Okay. It's like not anything like super fancy. It's like a quick lunch, a quick dinner for something like that, So he leaves the restaurant. Obviously, he's upset. He goes and grabs an AK-47, brings it back, and holds the restaurant workers at gunpoint, demanding whatever it is. And he escaped. He was caught. No one was physically injured, but he only got 4 counts of aggravated assault. We were saying if he was Black, he would have probably got charged with attempted murder, attempted burglary, plus aggravated assault, aggravated battery. He would have probably got, I don't know. You know what I mean? Probably more than what he got. So let me know what you think, my small place. He was in Tennessee. What do you think he would have been arrested with? And I'm going to just drop the link if anyone wants to come and add or contribute to what, this discussion is about. You are so welcome. If you want to change the topic, I'm going to be on for maybe another 30 minutes. And, if that, but I did promise that I would tell one of my 90-day fiance stories. So here we go. Back in 2010, I was chatting online with this person named Jeremiah. He was a very handsome Nigerian man. I still to this day think he's very handsome. Anyway, I ended up meeting him. Do you remember the black lady in Florida that fired the shot in the air and got years for that? See what I'm saying? This is the systematic injustice that honestly was the reason why I wanted to share that story. Because he did something very vicious and foul. And I feel like were he black, he would have really been thrown the book. So, thank you, My Small Space. I'm going to look that up because maybe that's something we need to discuss in another Late Night Vibes. I don't remember that, but I'm going to look it up. And how many years was she served? I'm not asking you questions. And was there a lot of people there? Okay. So this man's name was Jeremiah. I met him on a website called Bear Share, as in BEARSHARE. And it was a music streaming website. I really don't know. I don't think it's still in existence. I don't know. If I were to try to go to that site, I don't know what my username or login name would be. So, but we initially met on this website, and how we started chatting is what was a really cool feature on that website is that you can chat and share music. So you can share music with people that you have like the same interest in or whatever the case. You can look at other people's music selections and get introduced to new music genres and stuff. So that's how we kind of started chatting on that website. First, we were chatting about music, and then we just, each day I would be on that website, and, we would just chat. So eventually, we started to chat on Skype. And oh my God, Yahoo Mail or Yahoo Chat or something. And eventually we just kind of like started to connect, I guess. He lived at the time in London. I lived in Southern California. He was also Nigerian. So of course I loved that African accent. Of course I loved it. We would chat on Skype. Eventually, I'd let him interact with my family, my people in my life or whatever. And we had discussed like meeting in person, getting married, meeting in person, getting engaged, getting married. How old was I? Let me get my calculator. So this was 2010. Don't laugh at me because I'm using a calculator. Okay, so I was 27 at this time. So this was 11 years ago. Which still to me is a little bit too old to be doing this kind of stuff. But I digress. So I was 27. I was in Southern California. He was all the way in London. He's from Nigeria. His family was in Nigeria. And he was the second person from Nigeria that I had been introduced to and was kind of talking to. And I'm telling you, like, I really felt some kind of like, even to this day, there was some sort of endearment that we had. But at the end of the day, I always knew we would probably never meet in person. That we probably would never get to really have anything substantial or like real. But I still liked the thought and the idea at that time that, okay, maybe one day it'll happen. Maybe one day we'll actually meet and like start a family, because it's always easy to talk about these kinds of things. Especially like, oh, thank you, McClure. Especially, this was 11 years ago. Especially like long distance, it's easy to kind of fantasize and like, dream and like make believe and all that kind of stuff. But we talked for like 6 years, from like 2010 to like maybe 2015. Okay. We talked, and I don't know, during that time, this is where the 90 Day Fiance story kind of gets mixed in, because during this time I was very smitten with this person. And I had discussed with my parents that I was going to go to London. I already had a passport. Oh, I just gave away my age. That's right. That's right. That's right. So anyway, long story short, I had discussed with my dad and my mom that I was going to go ahead and travel to London. I was going to go meet him. Of course. He had all these excuses as to why he couldn't come to America, right? This was before Koviana. Obviously, this was before anything major happened where flight things had to be changed or arranged or whatever the case. There was always some reason why he couldn't come here. I was so like, when I tell you I was so smitten with this guy, I was willing to like quit my job or go on like a temporary leave. I was planning out like a 90-day visa. I was like so convinced that we were going to end up married, that we were going to end up having babies. I was so convinced. My dad and my mom, as you can imagine, they were not going for this. I am, Saki. I am. How old did you think I was? I am exactly that. But my dad was like, you are not going over anywhere. And before this, mind you, like in 2011, I think it was, I was talking to someone in Nigeria. And this is when all the like, okay, no offense to anyone Nigerian, this is when all the like Nigerian scams were going on. And I was talking to this guy named Wisdom. If you're coming in, thank you so much. This is we've kind of moved on to my 90 Day Fiance story. Hey, Jennifer. You're kidding me. No, sir. I'm going to be 40 in a few years. But yeah, so before Jeremiah, there was Wisdom. And funny thing about Wisdom, I was so in love with this guy. Like, he, from however many miles away, swept me off my feet. We'd play all these, like, I'm so into like Africa and like, I don't know, whatever. He would play all these like African love songs to me. And, music was my thing. anyone singing or like anything, anyone musically inclined, it really just, that's like such a weak spot. Sex gets better in your 40s, so cheer up. Ooh, I know that's right, because I already can feel that. Not physically, but hypothetically. I feel like that drive is really, for some reason, McClure, I feel like my sex drive is really like, it's really strong. Yeah, it's there. But I was in love with this guy named Wisdom. One of my favorite songs is India RE, Strength, Courage, and Wisdom. What I ended up doing is getting a tattoo on my ankle with Wisdom's name, but I played it off and put Strength, Courage, and Wisdom. And then I have some other, things in my tattoo. But really, I just wanted to get his name tattooed on me. And I thought, well, if this never works out, at least I have my favorite song and my favorite, like, 3 words at the time on me. Strength, courage, and wisdom. His name was like Ifiokobong Wisdom or something like that. It turns out, and I was going to go, okay, oh my God. So this is when I was like maybe 25 or something. I was going to go to Nigeria. I had again looked, I had a whole folder of like what it was going to take to get a 90-day fiance visa for Nigeria. You missed the booty troll. You sure did. You missed. Yes, you sure did. Right. No, it was probably not no 9 inches. Probably like a little shrimp. But anyway, I had a whole 90-day fiance folder of how I was going to go and meet this person. And mind you, my mom had a friend who did the exact same thing. She met someone on a scam from this person who said he was in Nigeria. My mom's friend at that time ended up going over to Nigeria and could not return home to the States. And so here I am telling my parents, I'm going to go meet this man in Nigeria. He's like the love of my life. Oh my God, I was so delusional. So naive. Like literally, I was convinced that things were going to work out. My dad was like, over my dead body, am I going to let you go to Nigeria for any length of time to meet a total stranger? So what I did is I had this person email my dad and so he could try to convince my dad that he was a real person. And my dad was just like, I'm not having it. No, we don't support you with this. And for the first time that I had really seen my parents, who are divorced, who have been divorced since I was probably like before I was born, I think, they came together in this agreement. They said, oh, hell no. So I never ended up going. Thank God. And I ended up finding out that this man had a whole family in some different part of Nigeria. When he would talk to me, he would go to an internet cafe. He said he was like some oil engineer. That was a lie. So fast forwarding to Jeremiah, I thought, okay, Jeremiah, this one is like really, really for real. Did the same thing, had a booklet planning my 90-day fiance visa. I don't know what I was thinking, guys. I don't know what I was thinking. And here's the thing. Now, this is where we're going to psychoanalyze some things in this situation, okay? Because I was so comfortable with having, okay, we're talking about, when I say relationship, I say quote unquote. We're talking about having a thousands and thousands and thousands of miles long distance relationship with someone in a different country, talking about getting married. Um, here's another thing. Um, it was such a fantasy that I did not want to believe that it was not real. I was like so convinced, and I held on, I think, as long as I could until I finally was just like, I think I want something real in my life. But here's a psychoanalysis that I feel is why even to this day I'm more comfortable, or I am comfortable a lot, or I can accept like a long distance relationship. Tell me if I'm wrong, or tell me if you think, oh no, that can't be true. Okay. I think I'm very comfortable with having long distance relationships because ultimately that's the kind of relationship I've had with my dad. It's always been long distance commute. I've only lived with my dad twice. Once as a fourth grader, which is very traumatic, and once, in the month of October for about a month. So, what do you all think? I don't know. That's my 90-day fiance story. I never ended up meeting that person, Jeremiah or Wisdom. We had plenty of Skype, Yahoo video chat dates or whatever. Shared music, listened to music. Never ended up meeting any of these people. And with Jeremiah, I think when I was like 28, I like basically gave him an ultimatum because it seemed like he started to kind of like want to use me to develop some kind of business or something like that. Hey, unapologetically curious. No worries, McClurg. Look, this is crazy. Yeah. Yes, please hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you so much, Saki. Yeah, turn your notifications on. How you doing? I'm just sharing my 90-day fiance story. But anyway, what do you think? I really think, even still, like, I'm trying to change some things about what I'm more comfortable with or more familiar with. Now in my life, I think if I don't know, if I really wanted to date someone, I think would be better if we were able to meet, and have something going on in person versus like long distance. But honestly, I'm okay with the long distance for a certain amount of time, not indefinitely, if that makes sense. Think about military wives and spouses. They're okay with long distance for a certain number of years or for a certain amount of time. Now I'm like, I don't necessarily want to live with, if I ended up having a boyfriend or something like that. I don't think I would want to live with my significant other. I just don't. I've been there, done that. I like having my own space. I like having my independence. I agree, my small space. Why is my neck always fucking greasy? I think it's because of my hair. I agree. Definitely counting my blessings. I really had to consider my dad's and mom's perspectives because I was ready to go. I was ready to go both times, both to Nigeria, and then when things didn't work out with the guy in Nigeria, then to England. And I think you're right. Count my blessings, my small space. But anyway, that concludes my 90-day fiance story and little Friday night, late night vibes. Excuse me. I hope you all enjoyed your Thanksgiving and your family time, your rest time, Black Friday, all of that. Cyber Monday, I got my list. Some items from my family, my foundation concealer, my car mount, and a longer Ethernet cord for my live streams. I had a long distance off and on relationship with someone I met on the internet. I think neither of us were going to budge on moving, so we finally called it quits. Yeah. Aw, thank you for the support. You have to let me know if you mind if I shout you out. But thank you, Evan, for the Cash App. I appreciate it. You don't have to give, and you do. And I thank you so much. Yeah. You know what happened, Jennifer? I think I finally gave this Jeremiah person an ultimatum. I was like, look, legit, it's been 5 years. Of course, I had other friends. But the point being, I think I gave him an ultimatum and I was like, look, if we're not going to meet in person, I really can't commit any more of my time, energy, and space with this. So either you come here or I go there. And my family insisted that he come here, which I agree now. And so that's where we left it. And that wasn't willing to happen. So I was like, well, people say never give an ultimatum. But I gave an ultimatum. I was ready for the answer. And eventually I moved on. I think the last time he contacted me was last year. And like I said, he's a very nice person. We talked about a lot of things, but there's just nothing that would ever come out of that in any serious level. My small space says, I don't mind long distance relationships, but not the ones in the military. It's always a possibility that person, like, there's two thats though. So I didn't stutter, even though it sounded like I said that person might not make it back home. I know. That is something that you always have in the back of your mind. But my small space, that could be true for any person that you're romantically involved in. That could be true for anyone, whether they're in the military or not. They may not make it back home. That, but I know, excuse me. But I know what you're saying, like in terms of the military, because of the nature of their work, because they might be in war. But I think it also applies to those of us who are partnered with someone like in law enforcement, or just anyone who commutes on the highway, No day is promised. We met in person and spent time together multiple times. We were great together. But some things just aren't meant to be, I guess. Yeah. Some things are just not meant to be. Some people are in your life only for a season. Are you okay, love? So some people are only meant to be in your life for a season. Is she okay, Tuna? Did you go check on her? Go check on her. Make sure she's okay. Yeah, you gotta make sure she's okay, okay? Yeah, some people are only meant to be in your life for a season and for a time. To help you learn something, to help you grow, to challenge you in a different way. But not everyone is meant to remain in your life. That's very true. Mm-hmm. My husband and I had a long distance relationship for 10 years. Oh my God, out of our 30-year marriage because of his job, but we made it work. Mm-hmm. That's beautiful, Christine. That really is. I really feel like I would, just because of the kind of person that I am, because I am mostly an introvert, and typically don't mind, really, I don't mind my own company. But if I were married, I think I definitely would want my husband around more than, maybe like the once or twice a year or once every few months. I really feel like for myself, if I ever were to get married, I wouldn't want to necessarily have a long distance relationship with my husband. I think for me, that relationship would need to be different. I would want them around. You know? But I'm so glad that you and your husband have absolutely made it work. And I'm sure you're better people because of it. I'm sure of it. He got married last year. He invited me to his wedding, but I wasn't going to travel because it was during COVID-19. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and before the vaccine. Oh, yeah. I mean, God. Weddings, homegoing services were all kind of so different last year. Like, I never imagined I would attend a virtual funeral. Like, crazy. I see the connection you made with your father and attachment issues. Mm-hmm. I would also add those may have been late bloomers and don't experience early romantic connection with the opposite sex. Probably, right? Because there's something unique on both sides. Both my side, for me to be willing and able to continue something like that for those amount of years, and then on their side as well, right? To also be comfortable with it. No realistic plans to see each other, but you continue to have a quote unquote relationship. It's very interesting. Oh, but we grow and we learn and we understand more about what our personal needs are and what we want to see for our lives. And then we grow and we move on. One thing about the breakup and heartbreak of something like that's intimate or romantic is it's hard. Do you guys remember when you first broke up with like your first crush or your first? That breakup is like probably so hard, the worst. When I lost my daughter's dad, he was about to cook fish. Oh my God, when he left the house, I cooked that fish little by little and left it on the table for him. I refused to accept his death. My small space. I send you my deepest condolences because still to this day, I'm sure that that loss still impacts and affects you. Mm. Mm-mm-mm. You have my deepest, deepest condolences. That is very heartbreaking. Mm-mm-mm. That's true. Like, you know, our days are not promised. I think maybe on another night, we should definitely just, you know, cover the topic of grief. I think that would be something good to just chat about. Well, what do you consider in long distance relationship? We would see each other, oh, every 2 weeks. Sometimes it would be 3. Okay. And if you could see, okay, so that, I think that is doable, Christine. Let me put this up on here. I think that would be doable for me. Like seeing each other regularly, every 2 to 3 weeks. I think that's doable. I guess the long distance relationships that, and I use relationships very loosely. The long distance relationships that I have, I guess, experienced were not something like, well, in my 20s, okay, in my 20s. This was 11 years ago, mind you. So there was no regular contact. There was no face-to-face interaction. And for these individuals who lived out of the country, we never met. We only talked on video, text, things like that. So it wasn't essentially anything like how you and your husband, what you and your husband had. So, yeah. But anyway, you all, thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for engaging with me in the chat. I really appreciate it. Please make sure you hit the like button, comment. Let's see. And subscribe. Thank you. My small space. I understand your experience completely. My first husband passed from a stroke, and for weeks I still cooked, expecting him to come downstairs to the kitchen to eat. Saki. My condolences to you, always. That is so tough. And it still affects you till this day. Grief comes in stages and in phases. In some seasons, like the holidays, you start to experience one or more aspects of grief more or differently than you would at different times of the year. So thank you, My Small Space, for sharing such an intimate part of your past and even present. And even your daughter, your daughter has also to deal with that loss as well in her own way. I don't know how her relationship was with her dad, but still. And thank you, Saki, for sharing that with My Small Space too. Because I think it's really empowering when you can put a name to something that you're feeling, number one, and also have someone that can absolutely kind of relate to what you have experienced. So thank you both. I'm going to DM you tomorrow about the show because I've been watching Hulu all night and it's good and crazy. Okay. Thank you for letting me know because I will check my DMs tomorrow, Jennifer. Sometimes I don't check my DMs, but I will check them tomorrow because I'll be looking for something from you. Thank you all. I'm in a much better place now. The only thing is my daughter didn't get to have a relationship with him. Oh, and she was only 19 months old. I know my small space. And I'm sure he was probably one of your first loves, one of your first romantic experiences. And that, like I was saying earlier, can make it even more difficult to accept for a number of reasons. You have my condolences now and always, you and Saki, and anyone who's lost someone, especially during, the last year. And spouses, But yes, please hit the like button, share, and subscribe. Turn your notifications on so you'll be notified whenever I go live. I can't believe I'm saying that. You're so welcome, McClurg. Thank you so much for being here and for all that you share. My Wi-Fi is being janky right now. But anyway, I was saying thank you so much. Please, yes, leave a comment. Share this video if you think it might be important for someone else to see. And I was saying before my Wi-Fi started acting janky, thank you so much, McClure, for your insight and for being here. And thank you for listening to my crazy 90-day fiance story. Andrea, indeed it does. My son is a splitting image of him. Oh my goodness. And even though my current marriage has been wonderful for the past 14 years, I still think of him and see him when I look at my son. Yes. And you will always love him. Like that will never change. And that's okay. And it should be that way. Because was a significant part of your life. I was there, love. I would come home and still say hello, hoping he would answer. Yep. And honestly, my small space, that's something you had to do to get to the place that you're at right now. You had to go through those days and make those decisions to cope and to build yourself up and to be able to be here and stand like you are today. Truly. No, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, it has. It has. And the closer we get to the new year, the more excited I become. And I'm thinking of doing something different during the month of December. Because typically what I do is I don't spend a whole lot of time planning for the new year until after the new year has already hit. So I think what I'm going to do this year is organize my life and do something different over these next 30 days that will inspire me differently this year. So one of the things I was thinking about when I was preparing my life is these two questions. And I'll ask myself and ask us too before I end. What are we creating? And what are we cultivating with our own unique creativity? What are we creating and what are we manifesting even in our lives, in our children's lives, in our loved ones' lives? What are we manifesting through meditation, through prayer, through thinking, and all the things that we do to, that scripture, speak things that are not as though they are. So what are we manifesting? In essence, what are we thanking God for that we don't have now? So how does our language need to change? Do I need to start saying more things like, thank you, God, that by December 31st, 2020, my book will be done and written and ready to be published? Do I need to start saying things like, thank you, God, for activating all of my creativity so that I can create beautiful things and speak beautiful things that will enrich your kingdom? What do I need to start speaking and showing and expressing gratitude with in order to see things manifested in my life that would never be manifested had I not written it down, spoken into existence, and made it plain for myself? Submit your plans to the Lord so they'll succeed. So I think I'm going to start doing more of those kind of things for the month of December leading up to January 1st, 2022. Okay, so if you have any input or insight into that kind of content, I would love to hear what you have to say. I didn't even put my little banner up, but my Instagram is there. And if you have any input, I am so open and welcome to hearing what any of you have to say. My Saki Speaks, you are such a sweetheart. I'm sure it's a blessing that your creator gave you to replace some of your loss in that way. Absolutely. Yes, I agree. And I know you're talking about her handsome son. I know he's so handsome. Yes, thank you, Unapologetically Curious. And thank you, everybody, for being here. I'm going to go ahead and sign out. I hope that you enjoyed some of the things that we talked about. It's been an hour and 47 minutes. So great. It's been under 2 hours. But thank you so much. If you have anything to add, please leave a comment, okay? And it's Friday. I think I'll see you all again, probably Sunday night. And I'm going to think of something very, very good to talk about, something very interesting and adult. Like. All right. So you guys have a good rest of your night, morning. And please remember, always practice abundant self-care. Be kind to yourselves and be kind to others. It goes a long way. Bye.